Activista, how are you using technology in your work as a movement?
We have a feminist hangout. This is under the gender pillar. Here we have discussions, and this discussion we record and post online. Sometimes we have Twitter storms where we curate message online where we maybe basically talk about and even letting people know what gender-based violence is, the forms of gender-based violence. Another thing is we use art. We believe that sometimes if you can't speak it, sing it. We have seen very beautiful performances from art pillar Activista.
If we are going to use innovations or solutions developed by men or others, or I know gender nowadays is vast, then they're not addressing what is affecting us. If we are going to come to CampusMeToo and want to use, maybe let me say, the solution you guys have to address CampusMeToo issues, it might not meet our needs. So can we take up, encourage students, have these workshops to have our own build solutions? Like for instance, CampusMeToo, we have a student toolkit developed by students and disseminated by students. You get? Yeah. That is innovation, and that is very key and powerful in terms of achieving our goals and also our works generally in CampusMeToo.
First is to invite you, to welcome you here, to recognize your presence, to recognize the presence of the people who need to take up this space, whom this space belongs to, and those are the young people, young women, young men, girls and boys in this society. And this is why appreciation of digital space and appreciation of innovation and technology for gender equality becomes a concern. And hence our being here today, but not being here today as an event, but being here today to remind ourselves that there's more to be done.
We can't tell young women to keep away from the space, but also to just be aware of the things that are there. Either to develop thick skin around it, but also to shun and to shame those that are reducing the space for young women.
Beyond physical violence, we have emotional violence that also emanates from the online violence. So how do we create a space that guarantees safety, guarantees security?
Online violence is one of the key contributors to the digital exclusion. The impact of online violence against women and girls can be as harmful online violence with the negative effects on the health and well-being of women and girls, as well as serious economic, social and political impacts. We call for partners to collaborate on the issue of online violence.
But access is one. Do they have control? Can they sustain the access? These are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Are they experiencing violence as they access these gadgets?
You'll realize it will become very hard for somebody to come say, yeah, I'm the girl whose naked pictures were all over the internet. So even getting that person to just come out of the space that they're in to be able to report becomes very hard. So that is still something that we are grappling with, or a challenge that we are facing within the SMS platform, to be able to capture that particular type of violence.
Some of the emerging technologies, we talk about things like AI. I don't know if you guys are following the conversations about ChatGPT that was happening a lot last month. There's a lot things are evolving so fast, sometimes even before we think of how these things can be used. And it's up to us to also convert these technologies to our context, because a lot of times, we are consumers. They're coming from the West and they're kind of landing on us. So it's us to see, yes, there's AI, there's robotics, there's all this big data and things like that. How do we make sure that works for us and that we're not kind of on the receiving end of whatever harms might come of it?
Gender equity is important as much as gender equality. And so we are continually trying to enhance awareness, but also enhancing the space that we can all grab. The more the candles, the bigger the light.
So it's our hope that each one of us, as we leave this place, we are going to be champions. We are going to use every space, most importantly the digital space, to ensure that we end violence, both at the higher learning institutions and any other institution that we find our girls and our women.
So let's have interesting program, lively discussions, and my pleasure to be here this morning. Asante ni sana. Nina Power!
Nina Power!
Asante.